Hey, yo, what's going on, gang? It's your boy, Trike Investing. I just changed my name. See, okay, hold up. First things first, before we get into any of the content today, um, if you like this video, then like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you like the video. I don't understand why people don't like the videos that they end up liking and share to other people, but they didn't like it. Support the channel, support me. I put a lot of work into this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm evolving. You know what I mean? In 2021, I'm going through an evolutionary process. You know what I'm saying? For you guys. You know what I mean? So if you guys support the channel, please subscribe, like. I'd appreciate it. Thank you. Peace and love, guys. All right. Second thing. I changed my name from Chike Onya to Chike Investing. You know what that is? 2021 is called evolution. I'm evolving in 2021. I told y'all last video I made on OTE and these principles that I am getting new equipment so I can make better videos. Sometimes hopefully you guys can see my face in it now. You know what I'm saying? My beautiful, lovely face. Y'all are gonna get to see that in 2021 more often. I mean, I'm hyped, bro. And I need you guys to support the channel. I need you guys to like, subscribe. And you know what? My name is now Chike Investing on this channel. It's Chike Investing, right? But you can't call me Chike, though. Nobody calls me Chike. Nobody calls me Chike, because Chike is, that's only my family can call that. My family and my wife. That's it. All right? Nobody else calls me Chike. But I'm still called Chike Investing. Isn't that the most backward thing you ever heard? All right, let's go. Today we're going to be going over the best Forex strategy out there that I know of. All right, something that's been working for me. Okay, are you guys ready? Drum roll. Let's get started. All right, see, I came prepared. 2021, bro. I got it written down. 1, 2, 3 steps only. 3 steps, 3 concepts put together create a formidable force in the Forex market. And we're going to be doing, as an example, it on EURUSD. You guys ready? I'm hyped. Let's do this. Number 1, structure. What do I mean by structure? There's 2 types of structure. Structure going upwards, structure going downwards. That's the main kinds of structure, right? There's also subsets of the upwards and lowered structure, but we'll go over that in this video. And when you're going on the structure upwards and downwards, you got to do both of those on the higher time frame and the lower time frame. And it's a combination, it's a finesse, something you got to learn over time. That's why you guys got to subscribe to the channel. You got to like the channel, because I'm going to be doing more videos on this stuff so you guys can master what's taking me 5 years, what's going to take you guys a month or 2 to get right into your brain stems, brain cells. I don't even know what it's called. All right, so here's the first structure. It's so simple, guys. If you're trying to buy something, right, you want to make sure it's going like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? It doesn't have to be 7. It doesn't have to be 8. It's not a finite number. But the point is, if something is in an upward direction, investments don't just go like this sometimes, right? They don't go like that most times. Even if you see like Tesla and stuff, it may look on a higher time frame than it's going like this on Robinhood or something. But if you check the candlesticks, it's really going like this. It's zigzagging. This is what we call structure. You have this original low, high, higher low than this low, higher high than this high, higher low than this low, higher high than this high. When you see this new low forming and see it starting going up, what do you think this is going to be? A higher low than this low. And what is going to create? A higher high than this high, right? This applies not just to Forex, but it also applies to pretty much any investment. Whenever I'm buying something, I got to make sure it's in this structure. It's got to look like this, right? This is how most investments look when it's ripe for a really good buy. And what do you have in the downward direction? When you want to go bearish on an investment, if you want to go selling something, you got to make sure it's doing this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, what is this? This is a high, What is this? A low. Oh, and this is a lower high. Lower low. Lower high. Lower low. Lower high. Lower low. Now, when you're seeing all these lower highs and lower lows forming, right? What do you think is going to happen next? Lower high. When you start seeing this thing going down a little bit after creating this lower high, you think it's going to create a lower low, right? That only makes sense, right? When you start applying this concept into any trading strategy you have, right? Even if you don't want to use smart money or OTE, if you have your own thing going on, structure is the most important thing that drives every investment, right? On a technical basis. This is the foundation of it all, right? Okay. So now that we've established that, okay, those are the two things you're looking for. If you want to buy or if you want to sell. If you want to buy, you got to make sure it's going like this. No matter what smart money you see, no matter what OTE, whatever strategy you have, make sure that the underlying structure is making higher highs and higher lows. Otherwise, you're just taking a gamble, to be honest, right? If you're going to sell, make sure it's going like this, right? No matter what strategy you have, on the higher time frame, you got to make sure it's doing this, right? Or in the bigger picture, you got to make sure it's doing that, right? Because that is more probable of it going in a downward direction. Now, some people will say, oh, but what if it does this? Bam, right? This happens, but it's much less likely, right? So investing is about probability and calculated risk. You are not going to get it 100% at a time. In fact, you'd be lucky if you got it right 50% of the time. But that's why you got to make sure that you have small stop losses and big winning opportunities. That is something we discussed in Smart Money, but that is not what I'm talking about in this video for Smart Money. That is in other videos on the channel. That's why you got to like and subscribe, because you're learning stuff every single day that's just going to be so impactful in your trading, right? So I mean, why not subscribe? Anyway, done with that. And some people will say, what if it does this, right? Bam, breaks this structure. Yeah, well, that happens, but it's much less likely to happen, right? And when it does, and it does this, bam, breaks this trend line right here, then what do you wait for? You wait for it to go like this, and then this, and this is when you would get in, right? You would get in right here, because it broke this lower high and created a higher high, higher low than this low, higher high. Then when you see this higher low starting to go back up, then you can start getting in for the buy, right? Even this is a very, very common shape in trading. This is why underlying structure, understanding it, studying shapes is very important, because they happen, whether you like it or not, in investing, and they're going to drive your investment profitability matrix by a lot. Here's one more thing I want to go over in structure. Now, sometimes you see it going up like this, right? But then you get this consolidation where it's just going zigzag. This is another structural thing. If you notice, this, we could consider it a cheap area. This, you can consider it an expensive area, right? Because this is at a higher price if you look to the right. So this area is more expensive. Sometimes assets get too expensive, even in the currency market and Forex. It's too expensive, where investors are like, I kind of don't want to, buy this anymore. So buyers, sellers get confused. Eventually sellers win. Starts going down. When you see consolidation like this, I wouldn't be buying if I were you. I would wait to see what happens. Wait to see if there's a breakout, right? And a breakout that goes like this, right? Then you get in here, right? Sometimes, because why I say that is because sometimes you get a false breakout, and then it tanks. So you want to make sure you get confirmation and structure. This will drive the profitability of your investments a lot higher, guys. All right. And sometimes you can get the opposite, where it's going like this. Then you get this consolidation here. You're like, oh, it's a little cheap down here, right? Investors are like, buyers and sellers are kind of confused. They don't know if they should continue selling it off, or this is a good opportunity for it to buy again because it's definitely undervalued. And then you see it go up like this, or not up like that, sorry. You see it go up like this, right? Okay, so when you have that happening, right, you need to wait for confirmation. If you see this going on, if you see consolidation in an area like this, I would not buy. I would wait, right? I would wait. I would not sell. I would wait. If you see consolidation, wait until you see the aftermath. Get in at a calculated time where you have a higher probability of making money. You have more confirmation of direction. Now we've understood 4 parts of structure. We understood the zigzags up, zigzags down, and consolidation in expensive areas and consolidation in cheap areas. All right, that is structure. Now, when you're looking at structure, you have to look at it from higher time frame to lower time frame, right? Because why do I say that? Higher time frames trump lower time frames. I say this in almost every video. The higher the time frame, the more likely that in the long term your trades are going to go that way, right? Because that's overall where the asset is going to. You barely want to get yourselves in counter trend trades because they're less likely to be profitable. Even if they do move profitability, very, very soon it'll snap back and move in the direction of the longer term trend, because that is what's happening over time, right? Now, I'm not saying you can't trade counter trend, in the short term compared to the long term. You can do that, but you have to be calculated. And I would advise only taking trades that are in the higher time frame, perspective, especially if you're a beginner, right? Now, what I mean, for example, is in the higher time frame, let's say on the weekly chart, if things are going like this, oh, sorry, don't even have the brush out. If things are going like this, bada bang, bada boom, bada bow, right? You want to be looking in lower time frames for buys, right? Lower time frames, you're looking for buy opportunities, because it's just going to go with the longer time frame. You know what I'm saying? In fact, it's going to go up more. You know what I'm saying? The amount of money it's going to go up, the amount of money you make is probably going to be more because it's in the trend of higher time frame. You're going to get more explosive moves that way, because a longer time frame is going to push it up a lot more than it will go down, assuming we're in an upward direction, and vice versa. Okay, so that's it on structure. Now here's smart money. The goal here is to get into an OTE trade, because that's what I like to do at the end of the day. I like trading OTE. But before you do OTE, you have to look at the structure, right? You have to look at the smart money. That's the second thing. So make sure that you're looking out for any smart money trades. If you don't know what smart money is right now, I'm going to put a link to a video that, some videos that will explain a little bit more about what smart money moves are. Right, and you got to look for those, right? I'll put a link on this video, and so it's easier for you guys to go check that out. Go check out the other video, because to explain what smart money is in this video, it may take longer than I want to here. We're gonna lose focus, but essentially the idea behind it, really briefly, is just you're looking for fake outs that need to be mitigated, and we're going to look at this on the chart, because what happens is that sometimes you have a good OTE trade, structure is good, but some place needed to be mitigated first, and so your OTE trade wasn't going well, right? So you need to keep in mind what are the risk areas in terms of smart money, and then finally you get into OTE, right? I will also put another video here where it speaks about the rules of OTE, but I will go over the rules now. Right? Let's make a textbook. What are the OTE rules? Right? And if you already know the rules, you can go ahead and skip over this part. Just fast forward. But one, it starts on a daily time frame. You're looking for PVD highs and PVD lows. Right? PVD highs, PVD lows. Once you understand that, you're looking for PVD highs, PVD lows. Also, you're looking for daily structure, right? Then, once you understand that, you're going to go from daily, to 4 hour chart to 1 hour, just to make sure nothing's going on. Then Then go straight to the 5-minute. You want to make sure that you set your grids from 8:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Right? That's going to be your entry points for your trade. All right, and then lastly, you want to make sure you have your Fibonacci. And wait for retracements to the 61.2 level. Or is it 61.8? Sorry. All right. That's it. That's OTE. So now we're gonna go through an example of what this means, because it's good to put this in words, but let's just do an example really briefly. Okay. So let's look at structure here, guys. If we scroll all the way out, we're gonna start on higher time frames. Sorry, my computer is being so slow right now. All right. So we're gonna start from the higher time frame, right? Higher time frame to lower time frame. We're gonna look at structure first. Let's drag this down a little bit so we can still see the rolls. Okay. So what do we have? Low, lower high, lower low, lower high, same low, lower high, lower low, lower high. But then look at this low compared to this low. This is a higher low. Higher low. Okay. Okay. Right, because we had the same thing over here, but we made a lower high here. Right? So it started moving downwards. So there would have been no buy opportunity. Because remember I said when you have a break of structure like this, lower high, right? So sorry, a higher this is a higher low right here, my bad. You kind of want to wait a couple of those before you start really considering, we're going buy in the long term. But also keep in mind that this is such a high time frame that it's not necessary for you to be really taking this kind of seriously, but it's just good practice, right? We're generally in bear. We're generally bear, right? Another thing you want to do when you're looking at higher time frame structure, I always like to draw trend lines as well, if you guys don't mind. I'm going to draw a trend line from here all the way down here. Notice how this trend line has been broken, right? So normally I'd like to wait for confirmation, maybe a couple more, before thinking that we're in buy zone, a couple more, of these, 1, 2, 3. But we broke this trend line here and we consolidated a bit, which means that once this broke, right, buyers are wondering, should we sell off? But no, they decided to keep going. So I think we're really heading into some buy zones right here, right? So higher time frame, we're looking for a buy, right? Higher time frame, we're looking for a buy. Okay. Sorry for the slowness. We're just gonna have to go through it. Like I said, guys, I'm gonna get better equipment soon. But okay. So right now, higher time frame, highest time frame, we're in buy action, and so we gotta just keep that in mind. But weekly chart's a little bit too much. It's not gonna be the most relevant, but it's something to just consider. Now look at the daily. Look at this trend line we've drawn here. We had this breakout, right? This is structure we're going on here. This has broken this past low, or even this low is about to break it, right? So I believe we're a little bit bearish now, and since it's daily, we have so many bearish candles. Once this broke here, we started heading downwards in such momentum in this structure. You know what I'm saying? We got to start considering, okay, well, this is not the best time to make any decisions really on a shorter time frame. We can't do smart money OTE yet because we don't have confirmation of what structure is really going to be like. I'd like to see more of this. Bada bing, bada boom, bada bam. Right? I'd like to see more of that before I really start, okay, we're going to get bearish now. But for those of us who are a little bit more risky traders, we're still going to go ahead and say, just assume, okay, we've broken this trend line. It's safe to say that we can be more bearish, because look at this. This is why it's good to analyze multiple time frames. You got this high right here. You got this low, higher low. Lower high. This is a lower low right here. Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Right. So even here, when you started seeing it in reverse, we could have looked for some selling opportunities. Honestly, you could even just place a trade and keep your stop loss above here. Once you saw this moving down, once you see like this 1, 2, maybe 3 candles, and you see it here, you can just put, enter here, put a stop loss above here, because if it goes up above there, it's probably going to keep going up, especially because if you draw this other trend line. If you notice, I really like using trend lines along with structure, just because it helps me kind of guide me in the higher, the process, right? Even here, you could have done that same thing too. You could have put your stop loss above here, and your entry points here. You're selling it off, okay, right? And so we're gonna check out some smart money plays right now. So we've seen structure, and structurally we're bearish, right? So now we can go ahead and look for smart money plays, right? Instantly, I see this institutional candle right here, this 4-hour institutional candle. Was that mitigated? Well, this kind of rose up. Came close enough, but not necessarily mitigates this. It's just something we keep in mind. It doesn't necessarily mean that this was mitigated and we can't keep selling, because it shows here. I mean, it's clearly with this trend line and it's going down. It looks like it doesn't want to come back up here. I don't think it ever does want to, because this candle, it went above this high, it went above this high. So this is obviously a smart money play. The institutional candle. What is this buy doing here? So strong, and then all of a sudden falls off. What is that doing here? That's definitely a smart money concept. That's bank manipulation, right? But it's just something to keep in mind. First of all, this is further confirmation that the banks wanted to keep going down because they bought just to sell, right? So this is further confirmation they wanted to keep going down. And then look at this other smart money play. We had to sell to buy under all these equal lows, but we didn't get that confirmation upwards. It kind of just got this candle and started heading downwards even more. So, you got to just analyze the smart money, see if there's anything to be worried about. The smart money is not necessarily for you to trade it. The smart money is for you to see if there's anything to be worried about. Once you started getting more of this move downwards, I don't think there's much to worry about. So now we're all bearish on OTE, nothing to really worry about on the smart money, right? Okay. So we've gone from weekly. We've checked out the smart money. Now let's check out the daily. Again, because now we're heading into OTE. Remember, the first rule of OTE was check out what's happening in the daily candles. I personally like to see, if I want to go for bearish on an OTE, I like to see a couple bearish candles on the daily. So I have 1, 2, 3 here. Got this one, mess up right here, but we got some more bearish candles. So on Friday or Thursday, I would have been looking for bearish moves in the dollar. Okay, sorry, in the Euro USD. So now we checked out the daily, we checked out the 4-hour, right? Let's check out the 1 hour. Okay, see if there's any other smart money that we need to see on this smaller time frame. Nah, just this, nothing to really worry about, right? Okay, let's go straight to the 5-minute. And let's set our time for Friday Friday was today's Saturday, so Friday was 15th. So let's say 8:30 on Friday. Set your parameters. Remember, this is the rule. Set your parameters. We've done the daily action. We've checked it out. Everything looks bearish. 8:30 to 11. We're on the 5-minute. So look at this. Look at this. This would have been perfect. So this is almost at 8:35 right here. This is at 8:35. I don't know why it's still zooming in. Right, this is at 8:35. We had this past high, right? And this, and the things that even on an OTE, before I enter, I like to see some, this is a higher high. Sorry, this is a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, right? Or you can even say, well, this is kind of like a higher low, but it became a lower high and it started going down again to create a lower low, lower high right here, right? And so what I would have done on Friday morning, let's take my fib from this past high all the way to this low, right? Take my short position, place it at the 0.62 level, or 0.61A. My stop loss is above the past high, because if it goes above that high, then we're probably going to keep going up. Make it about 10 pips. I'm just keeping whole numbers. And I'm aiming for the, just going to see how it rides. So take profit's going to be around the 2.0. And you see, that would have been a 1 to 7 trade. Simple as that, guys. You go from the daily, you go from the weekly, daily, do all the strategies, you know what I'm saying? And then apply the OTE. You're drawing your fib from this past high to this low, right? These are my levels if you guys want to memorize this. If you guys want to check this out now, copy it down. The 1, the 0.79, the 0.705, 0.62, all the way down here to the 0, negative 0.5, negative 1, negative 1.5, negative 2. I got into this trade, I would have entered here at the 0.62 level. Stop loss is above here. Goes down. Right? How much would it? What? I would have already made about 1.6. 1 to 6. So I would have risked, if it was on a ratio, it would have been, I would have risked 1 to get 6 back. So if I had put 10% in my account, I would have made 60% of my account. If I had invested 10% of my account in this trade, I would have made 60% of my account in just one trade. Do you see how beautiful this is? This is why I really like using all the combinations of the strategies, just to make sure that nothing wrong is happening, right? And you have this perfect optimal entry. That's what OTE stands for. From 8:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. I'm checking the structure even on the 5-minute. Are we getting higher lows? Or are we getting lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, right? Well, this is actually a higher low, sorry. But this is a lower low, a lower high, and this is kind of like a higher low, but it made a lower high, then made a lower low. So I was like, okay, we're back in the structure. Would have gotten here, goes down. We made moolah. And your reason why we want to enter between 8:30 to 11 a.m. is because this is when the banks are trading, so you see the most volume. Notice that this drop is the strongest out of everything that happened before that, because the banks came in, they're active, the traders are active between 8:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. New York time. They're in there. This is the NY session, right? And you would have even held the trade. Even you could have gotten out at -1. You can get out whenever you want. I would have held the trade past then. It's still going down. I would have just moved my stop loss maybe all the way down here, just secure profits. Move my stop loss down here, and if it goes back above there, I pull out. But I've made money still. All right. So this is the best strategy I've seen that works for me in Forex. And this strategy works in all kinds of assets. And I hope that you guys have learned something. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I will be doing more analyses like this, teaching you guys more things about smart money, about OTE, about structure, and how this is the best strategy in the trading world. All right, this has been Chike Investing. Thanks for being here. Don't call me Chike though. Only my family can call me that. Love you guys. Peace and love.